everyone, my name is Angelica Jacqueline with the student ID 2024-30104. So today I will explain my neural network using the data hard disease dataset. So the goal of this project is to build a neural network model to predict whether a patient has heart disease or not. So now I will explain every step of my notebook. So first step, I import the libraries. I use pandas to read the dataset. I use NumPy for numerical calculation. I use matplotlib and seaborn to create the graphs, and then I import the skykindler libraries such as standard scalar, train underscore test underscore split, and grid search CV, MLP classifier, and evaluation matrix. So these libraries are needed to build and evaluate the neural network model. And next, in this step, I read the heart disease dataset using pandas, and after reading the dataset, I save it into a variable called df, and now the dataset is ready for analyze. Next, I display the first 5 rows of the dataset. This helps me check whether the dataset is loaded correctly, so I can also see the structure of the data. And next, check the dataset size. So here I check the shape of the dataset, and the results show the number rows and columns. So this is help me to understand how much data I have. And next, check the dataset information. So in this step, I use info. It shows the data types, number of column, and non-null value. So this is important to understand the dataset before training. So next, descriptive descriptive statistic. Next, I use describe. This function show the mean, minimum value, maximum value, and standard deviation, and it helped me understand the characteristic of the data. Next, check the data set again. So here I display the descriptive statistic again. So this is used to make sure all the numerical data can be analyzed correctly. And next, show column name. So in this step, I display all the column name. So this is help me know every feature in the dataset. Also help me avoid mistake when selecting column. Next, check missing value. So missing value are empty data. So if there is a missing value, I need to clean the data first. In my dataset, there is no missing value. Okay, next, check the duplicate data. Here I check duplicate rows. The duplicate data can reduce model performance. Luckily, my dataset does not contain duplicate data. Okay, so next, target distribution. So in this step, I create the count plot. This graph show how many patients have heart disease and how many do not. So this is help me to understand the target distribution. And next, count each class. So next, I count the number of sample in each class. So the result is same as the graph but show in numbers. So this is makes the data easier to understand. Okay, next, histogram. I create the histogram. So the histogram show the distribution of every feature. So this is help me see whether the data is spread evenly. So this is the histogram result. Okay, next, correlation heat map. So in this step I create a correlation heat map. So the heat map show the relationship between feature. Okay, so the heat map show the relationship between feature. A higher correlation mean a stronger relationship. Okay, so this is the result. Okay, next, box plot. Here I create box plots. So box plots help detect outlier. So outliers are value that are much higher or lower and the other value. And next, separate feature and target. So the input variable are stored in X and the target variable is stored in Y. So the target is the condition column. And next, standardize the data. So I standardize the data using standard scalar. So the standardization makes all feature have a similar scale, and this is help the neural network learn faster and better. And next, split training and testing data. And now I split the data set. 70% is used for training, 30% is used for testing. The training data teach the model, so the data evaluate the model. Okay. Next, define grid search parameter. So in this step, I define several parameters. I test different activation function, and I also test the different solver and learning rate. So grid search will find the best combination. And next, create a search CV. And now I create the grid search CV object. So the grid search CV automatically tests many parameter combination, and then it choose the best model. And next, train the model. So here I train the neural network model. So the model learn pattern from the training data. During training, the weights are updated automatically. And next, show the best parameter. After training, I display the best parameter. So this parameter produce the highest model performance. So next, save the best models. And next, I save the model, and the model will be used for the prediction. And next, we make it the prediction. I predict the testing data, so the prediction result is stored in a variable. So later I compare it with the real label. And next, calculate the accuracy. So Accuracy tell me how many predictions are correct, so a higher accuracy means a better model. And next, create the confusion matrix. So in this step, I create the confusion matrix, and confusion matrix shows correct and incorrect prediction, so it helped me to evaluate the model performance. So next, visualize of confusion matrix, and the heat map is easier to read than numbers, so it clearly show the prediction result. So next, this is the result. The last classification report. So the report contains precision, recall F1 score, and accuracy, and these metrics help evaluate the neural network model. So overall, the model gives the good performance classify heart disease. So that's all. Thank you so much for your attention.